All right, we're going to be talking about budgets today, and hopefully, it's a word that you've heard before, right? When we're talking about a budget, we're talking about a plan for how you're going to spend your money. I think it's a good idea that everybody has a budget before they start to spend any money, because if you have an idea of how much you have, then you have a better idea of how much you can spend. Federal governments, the one in Canada, the federal government in Canada has a budget, right? They know how much revenue they're going to get from taxes and all these other ways that they raise money. And they know the kinds of things they'd like to spend the money on. And what they need to do when they're presenting the budget is to make sure that they have enough money at the end of the day to cover all the expenses that they need to cover. There's a federal level that does that. It's also done at the provincial level. So Ontario has a budget, and it's also done at the municipal level. So for instance, I think you guys probably live in Ajax. Ajax has a budget. So every level of government has a budget. And I also like to think that individuals should have a budget. I know that we have in our house have a budget that we go over every month. So we make sure that we're not spending more than we actually have to spend. So I'm going to give you an idea of what a budget looks like. I'm going to give you a scenario of a particular individual, and we're going to go through their budget and make sure that the budget is balanced. And all balance means is that they're not spending more than they actually are earning. Okay? So I'm hoping that everybody can see the screen I'm on right now, right? Can I just get a quick yes from everybody? Can you see the spreadsheet I'm looking at right now, which shows monthly income, monthly expenses, etc.? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. So this is a budget template. This is just a little spreadsheet. Now, if you're doing a budget for a country like for Canada, it's not going to look as simple as this. This is an individual budget for a person, and I'm going to show you what this person's information is. This person, we're going to call her Mary. So I'm assuming you can see this tab as well. I'm going to tell you her story. We're going to transfer figures. And by the way, we need your calculators. So grab your calculator if you don't have it. So go get it. I'll give you 30 seconds to go grab a calculator and come back. But you're going to need a calculator to go through some of these numbers with me. Okay? So let me give you 30 seconds to get that done. We're going to go through Mary's story, and we're going to transfer information from this story into that budget. And we're going to try to make sure that Mary is in good shape. All right? So I'll wait 30 seconds for that. Okay. So this is Mary, who is a daughter of a. Hope everybody can see the screen. I can try to make it bigger if you need me to. But Mary is the daughter of a prosperous businessman. She lives in some place in Quebec, and she's going to McGill University. She's moving into an apartment, and it costs $650 per month, including heat. Her parents give her some furniture, but she did buy herself a sofa on credit. And all credit means is that you haven't paid for it in full. You have to pay a certain amount per month. In fact, this is $112.50 per month. Telephone costs her $35 per month. Her meals at home, the cafe costs her about $200 a month. She owns a car, and here are some expenses for the car: $6 a month for insurance, $46. Sorry, $6 for gas. Insurance costs her $646 a month. Vehicle registration, driver's license, parking. So it's all laid out right here. She has a gym membership that's cost $20 bi-weekly. And what bi-weekly means? Can you give an idea what I mean by bi-weekly? How often is bi-weekly?
You get a check every 2 weeks.
Correct, exactly. So she's paying this $20 every 2 weeks. She likes brand name clothes, so she also spends $150 per month on clothes. There's a little bit more information here. Her father gives her $500 per month. On Saturday, she works, and that gets $150 per week. In September, the Ministry of Education sent her $1,500 in loans, but that's for the whole year. Okay? Now, we're going to try to transfer some of these numbers that we have here into her budget over here on this side. I want to look at her income. So all the things that she's getting money for, we're going to put that on this side. Anything she's spending money on goes on the other side. At the end of the day, we're going to have a total. I'm using a spreadsheet that already has formulas in it. So as I put numbers in here, it will total it up for me down here. So this is her total income on one side, total expenses over here. We have to make sure these two things match. The difference between them will be in this box right here. So let's go back and look at Mary's story again. I want you to focus now on the things that that represent income for Mary. So look at the story, read it to yourself again. What part of this is income for Mary? What part of this is money that's coming into Mary's pocket? If you remember some of the stuff I read, that should help you out. What part of this is income? I'll try to make this a little bigger for you.
The loans?
The loan is part of it, absolutely. Let me make it a little bit bigger here. Okay, hopefully that's
$150 per week.
perfect. Okay, so let's grab a calculator, right? And let's take, okay, and you also probably forgot that her father is giving her $500 per month, all right? So why don't we go ahead and put that in the spreadsheet right away? I'm going to call that other sources of income, $500 per month, all right? You notice that it already puts that $500 as part of the total. I'm going to come back over here. Oh, sorry. We mentioned that she has a job, which is $150 per week. How do I convert that into a monthly amount? And I know what somebody's going to tell me, but I think what you're going to tell me is probably not right. $150 per week. How do we convert that into a monthly amount? I know you probably don't want to say anything now that I said you might be wrong. There's a way to do it. $150 per week. How is that? How much is that monthly? Because we can't put a weekly figure into this budget. This budget is for per month. So $150 per week, you don't put that into the budget as a monthly figure. How do I convert $150 per week into a month?
Multiply it by 4.
I thought you would say that. That's not entirely accurate. That's close, but not entirely accurate. The better way to do that is to turn that weekly figure into a yearly figure by asking yourself how many, and the reason that you said that is because a lot of months, some months have 4 weeks, but in fact, the only one that has exactly 4 weeks is February. But let's think about it. There are some months, most months, that either have 30 days or 31 days, which is more than 4 weeks. And that's why the better way to do this is take that. So hopefully I have your calculator nearby. Take that 150, multiply that by the number of weeks in the year. Anybody know how many weeks in a year? Nobody know how many weeks in a year? I'll tell you, it's 52. Every week, so every year has 52 weeks. So do that, multiply it by 52, but then take that number now, and I want to make it monthly. So how many months in a year?
12.
So I'm going to divide that by 12. So I take the figure I get for the week, multiply it by the number of weeks in the year, which is 52, and then divide that by 12 to make it monthly. So the figure is actually, hopefully you're on the same page with me, is actually $650 per month. I'm going to put that number in. Hope everybody got the same number I just got, $650 per month. Okay? All right, let's go back and look at her numbers again. She's getting money from one other source that we haven't mentioned yet. And that is the loan. She's getting a loan of $1,500 for the whole year. How can we adjust that so it's for the month? $1,500 for the whole year. Can you suggest a way that I can convert that into a monthly number? Right here, I'm looking at the $1,500. This is for the whole year though. So 1,500 for the whole year. I want to make this a monthly number. Shouldn't I divide that by 12? Hopefully that makes sense. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes? No? Because that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that in as 125 because that 1,500 has to last her for the whole year. So if she's budgeting for that, she has to break that down into a monthly figure. So divide that by 12, and what I'm getting is $125. Hopefully everybody has the same thing I have. Okay? Now, that's how much money she gets each month coming in. She needs to make sure that on the expense side, she can cover all of her expenses out of this total that's coming up right here. So let's go back and look at her expenses. All right, so big one is this, $650 per month for rent. So I'm going to put that in under rent. Now these categories here are pretty fluid. I mean, you can interpret where the best place is to put things as long as everything is covered in there. So $650 is her rent. All right. The difference already is $625. Hopefully you can see that down here. So if she only had to pay rent, she'd have $625 left over to spend on other stuff. But she has other expenses. So let's look and see what else she has. She has to, let's see, okay, how about this one here? $150 per month she spends on clothes. So that's already a monthly figure. I don't have to adjust that in any way. So I can go ahead and put that in to her budget. Now, again, you have to decide where's the best place to put that. I'm going to put that for no particular reason on the personal care. I mean, you can decide that, maybe that's not the best place to put it, but I'm going to put it under that. Notice that I haven't changed that figure at all because it is already a monthly figure. So we've covered off her clothing allowance. Now look at her gym. She is paying $20 bi-weekly at her gym. I believe there's a place called Fit for Less that has a plan that's kind of similar to that, where you pay a bi-weekly amount. I think that's what their plan is. The number might be different, but I'm just saying that's how they do it. You might have seen the Fit for Less places around. So this gym is costing her $20 bi-weekly. Now, I asked the question earlier on, and I heard that was every 2 weeks. So it's not every week, but every 2 weeks. How can I adjust a $20 bi-weekly figure so it's a monthly amount? Can anybody come up with a way that might work? $26 every 2 weeks. I'm looking for suggestions on that. Nobody has anything for me? How many bi-weeks do I have in a year? Come on, anybody. I know we have 52 weeks in a whole year, but how many bi-weeks? Bi-weeks is every 2 weeks.
26.
There you go. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, let me go back and show you the number. This $20, I'm going to multiply that by 26. So what I'm getting now is what she has to pay for the whole year. So what do I do to make this into a monthly figure? Divided, of course, by 12. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody, right? So what I did first is I made it into an annual figure. What she's paying for the whole year is $20 times 26. But if I want to put it in a budget as a monthly number, it has to be divided by 12. Now, I don't want to have to put in any cents into the budget. I want a rough number. So hopefully everybody will accept that the number that you're getting can be rounded to $43. So I'm going to put that as the amount I'm going to put it under recreation and sports. That I think makes sense. All right. So that's her recreation and sports. Let's go back and look at her story again. Everything that is an expense has to be covered, right? Now look at what else she has to pay. It says her meals. Oh, by the way, here's her, I want to make sure everything is covered. Here's her, what she pays each month for her furniture. Remember that she bought it on credit, and credit means that you didn't pay for it all at once. You're basically borrowing the money to pay for it. So the monthly payment is $112.50. So let's put that in her budget. $112.50. I'll put that under furniture. So 113. I'm rounding that number again because I don't want to put any cents in. So I'm going to just call it $113, 112.50. All right, so we have that number in. Let's see now, $200 a month for meals, according to what this says here. So let's throw that in there as well. On the meals, on the food and grocery, $200 there. All right. And let's see what else is in the story. We have some expenses for her car. $60 a month, $46 a month, $22 a month, $750 a month, parking $25. Can one of you add up those numbers for me, please, and tell me, because all of these are monthly figures already, but they're all transportation related expenses. So go ahead and please, hopefully you can all see the screen. That's per month, that's per month, this is per month, this per month, this per month. Could you add up those numbers and tell me what you're getting for that, please? One of you. Well, in fact, I'm going to ask all of you to do that. And I'm going to ask one of you to give me what that total is. This is for her car now. And by the way, we missed one thing which I haven't put in yet. I'll come back and put that in a little while. So we're looking at the gas, the insurance, the vehicle registration, the license, and the parking. All right, so somebody should be able to add up those numbers and tell me what that is equal to.
It's $160.50.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to call that 161 under transportation. Again, I'm rounding everything to the nearest dollar. All right, there is one thing that we missed out. Anybody can see what that is? Telephone, the thing she's holding in her hand, $35 per month. So I'm going to put that in as well. And I don't think we left anything else out. And that's per month, so we don't have to adjust it. It's already per month. Remember, everything that we're looking at has to be per month. If it's not per month, we have to adjust it. I'll go ahead and put that in. So $35 for telecommunications. Okay, so we've covered off everything. Can anybody tell me what the problem is with Mary's budget? What's wrong with Mary's? Is Mary in good shape? Is this an okay situation for her to be in, based on what you're seeing on the screen right now?
No,
No. Why not?
because she's in negatives.
Correct. Everybody can see this figure down here, the 77 minus $77. So if you were in Mary's position, right, if you continued with this income and these expenses, you're going to be going further and further into debt. Nobody wants that. I know I don't. How do you fix it? There are some ways to fix Mary's budget. Give me some suggestions. If you were in this situation, any of you in the room were in this situation, what would you do? If you knew that when you put your numbers down, they look like this spreadsheet, how would you fix it? I want some ideas. I'm asking an everyday, practical, common sense question. You're spending more than you're earning. What do you do? What do you do? You just sort of go into debt and let it be? Is that the way to do it? Or is there another strategy that you think you could try or use? Well, let me give you two ideas. You have two approaches to doing this. One is increase your income. She can work more, right? So she can beef up this part of it. The other one, of course, is to reduce this side. And that's what most people do, right? They look at their expenses and say, where can I cut back so that I can perhaps reduce this difference to zero, right? That's the thing that most people do. So where do you start? You start with your rent, you start with your transportation, you start with your food. What's the best place to go when you see yourself with an imbalance like that? What do you suggest that Mary do?
Stop spending so much on clothes.
I figured somebody was going to say that. Now, we don't have to leave her completely without anything. But the idea is that you look at those things that are not what's called discretionary. Rent is not discretionary, right? You got to pay your rent. Food is not discretionary. You got to eat.
Recreation sports.
Recreation sports is discretionary. You can cut back on that. Now, personally for me, right, I know I like to go to the gym, so I probably would not want to cut back on that too much, but some people would. You know, transportation, again, you kind of need to do your transportation. So you're absolutely right. Most people are going to look at something that's discretionary, like $150 on clothes. So what number do we, and here's the other thing as well. And this is something I'm going to recommend to you as young people going out into the world and having to deal with money. One of the things that you should always try to make sure you do is put something in this line right here. Can anybody see what line I'm putting my cursor in? What is that line? What is this thing that I'm highlighting over here?
Saving.
What is that? Absolutely. I would hope that apart from just simply trying to make her cover her expenses, that she's putting something into savings as well. So What I'm going to say to you now is her difference is $77, right? That's how much she's spending more than she's actually making. I want to put something into savings as well, right? I don't know what you think, but that's something I think is a good idea. So let's find a way to adjust. And again, you can adjust to recreation and sports, but and you could say she doesn't really need a cell phone, but that's not being realistic. She has to pay her furniture bill. She has to eat. Maybe she can, cut back on her grocery bills a little bit. That's possible. How would you adjust her personal care number? You give me some ideas. And also, can we put something into savings? And again, this is not a matter of there is a right answer or wrong answer. I'm asking you to use your discretion and common sense because this is a discretionary thing. How would I change her personal care number? I don't want to leave it so it's completely zero, right? It's not realistic that somebody is not going to spend anything on clothes. They need to update their wardrobe from time to time. How would you recommend that Mary fix this? How would you change that personal care number? What would you do? I want some ideas here.
Become a minimalist.
Give me a number. Give me a number that you're comfortable with.
120.
120? Okay, we'll do that. Does that fix the problem? Focus
No.
on this number down here. That doesn't fix the problem. So unfortunately, we have to go further. So what do? Do we tell her that she must, take out the furniture, eat less food, turn in the car, or just reduce this some more? And we're going to reduce it some more. What are we going to reduce it to? And are we going to be able to do some savings as well? Right? So she's not, she doesn't have like a rainy day fund. So if something happens, she can't handle it. So give me some more. 120, I hear you, but I think we have to do more because she's still going to end up with a deficit down here, right? Because it's negative. So what do? Give me another number.
100.
Okay, so 100. Well, still in the hole. Let me give you an idea. I'm going to put this as $50. All right. I know that for some people, spending that on clothes is probably not very attractive, but let's just leave it at that. Now, this time she has a difference of $23, and my recommendation to you is to put that into savings, right? Because you want this difference here to be zero. So if I put $23 here as savings, it does two things. It makes my difference now equal to zero. And also it means that I'm saving money out of my income. So my total income now matches my total expenses, and I'm even saving some money along the way. If she wants to be able to spend more money on clothes, right, she's going to come on the income side and do something with this side over here, right? Work more hours. Do something to beef up the income side if she wants to be able to spend more money over here. So I'm just trying to give you a budget is, like I said, something that I do or we do in our household because we want to make sure at the end of the day that we can cover all of our expenses. And it's something that I'm encouraging you to think about doing when you get out into the working world and start to make some money. Don't just spend without knowing whether what you're spending is not more than what you're actually earning. And that's really all I'm going to be doing with you today. No, there is a homework exercise. So this is the solution. This is a solution, not a sort of the only solution. You may have other ideas as to how you want to do this. There is going to be another story which I'm going to ask you to look at for your homework. It's this other person here, Julian. His situation is different. So you're going to have to pick out the information from this and put that into another spreadsheet again. And here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I want to be very, very clear on how you're going to do this. I'm going to send out a link in an announcement shortly, which is going to give you a spreadsheet looking like this. Now, when you enter numbers in this spreadsheet, everybody's working on the same spreadsheet. So hopefully you're not all going to do this at the same time. You can't leave the spreadsheet as it is. So what I want you to do is I want you to come up here to say File and Download as either PDF or a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. After you put your numbers in there, I'm going to clear these numbers out now. So go up here and press File and download a copy of what you have done for the other person for, what's his name, Julian. And then I want you to submit that as your homework assignment. When you're finished, just delete all of these numbers that you have here in the spreadsheet. So the next person who comes in doesn't have your numbers. They have to put their own numbers in. All right. So that's really all I'm going to be doing with you today. So I'm going to send the link out. So you're going to get this exact same spreadsheet. Put your name up here, right, before you start entering your numbers. And then when you're finished, like I said, just delete everything that is not for you into the spreadsheet. Does that make sense, everybody? What I just asked you to do for your homework? All right. So you're going to have your own spreadsheet with a different set of information for a different person. And then you're going to submit that on TeacherE, somebody to look at to see how well you did with that. And again, just remind you about something. Any information that you get in the story, I'll give an idea. For instance, this says he joined a fitness club for $250 a year. So think about how an amount for a year has to be adjusted to make it monthly. There are some figures in here for a week, $50 per week. Again, make everything monthly when you're putting it into the spreadsheet. So I'll send this out to you as an assignment, and then you're going to go to the Google Docs, enter your information in the spreadsheet, will total it for you, save it as or download it as whatever, you want a PDF or an Excel spreadsheet, whichever one, and attach that to TeacherEase and send that to me at the end of the day. All right. Any questions about that? Any questions about the previous assignment? Okay. Can you see the mortgage calculator now?
Yeah, it's loading.
It's
Okay, I
loading.
see it now.
Okay. So I'm going to bring up the questions that I had for you in another screen to see if we can sort of walk our way through this. So give me a second here to do that.
Okay.
In fact, I'm going to log in as if I'm a student, and that should actually help you out a little bit. Okay, so please tell me whether you can see the question I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so this is talking about, and I think you got some of these right already too. I think you got some of these ones right. So 4.5% on a $520,000 mortgage amortized over 20 years. I'm going to go back to the mortgage calculator. Bear those numbers in mind. 20 years, $520,000, 4.5%. Okay?
Okay.
So here's my mortgage amount, $450,000, 4.5%. And 20 years. All right. Now, the term doesn't matter for these questions because these questions just ask about the mortgage payment. You can still see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I press calculate and I get this number here, there's a summary. I kind of focus on this summary right here. It tells me that if I had a mortgage of $450,000 at 4.5% for 20 years, that my payment would be 2836.62. So I'm going to just copy that and put that into my answer. $2386.62. Okay. That's all I'm asking you to do for these questions. Second question is very similar. Can you see how you could do that second question on your own by just changing the numbers in the mortgage calculator?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to skip these questions and go to one of the ones I think you might have had more trouble with. This is very similar again. And I'll reassign it for you to try this when we're done, okay? This is very similar here as well.
Okay.
All right, now this one is different. Claude is buying a home for $680,000. Bank is offering him a mortgage at 4%, but he has to complete a 25% down payment. When you watched the video, did you understand what a down payment is?
Kinda. Is it like the money that you have to come up with yourself, or is
Correct.
it the other one?
Correct. Exactly. No, it is. It is. So the bank is saying to you, I'm not going to give you $100. I'm not going to give you $680,000. You have to find your own down payment. So what we have to do is, I hope you have a calculator nearby. We have to go ahead and find what 25% of $680,000 is. So can you do that for me, please? You know how to find a percent, right?
Yeah.
So go ahead and find that number for me, please.
With the amount of the house?
Yep.
I'm multiplying it.
Yep. That's how you find a percent, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the down payment?
Um. 170,000.
There you go. So there we go. That answer is done. I'm going to continue. So that's just his down payment, all right?
Okay.
The second question is, you're still seeing my screen, hopefully, right?
Yeah.
Okay, how much will he need for the mortgage? Now remember, the house, and I still have the information on top here, is $680,000. But the mortgage is not the down payment. Can you think of how I could figure out what the mortgage is? The mortgage is how much the bank is going to lend you, right? Right? You've already said, I'm going to come up with $170,000. The bank is going to lend you the rest. So how can I figure out what the rest is?
You take the amount of the house and the down payment and subtract it.
Do it and tell me what the number is.
Okay. Um. 510,000.
So there's my answer, right? Now it's asking you now for the monthly payment. What do you think I need to do for that? How am I going to get that monthly payment?
Is that when you use the mortgage calculator?
Of course you do. And information is still here, 4% and for 25 years on a 3-year agreement. If you can see where my mouse is pointing, you can see all information I need for the mortgage calculator. I'm going to put that $510,000 into the mortgage cal. Go back up. I'm going to put the $510,000 in. All right. I'm going to put the interest rate of, I think it was 4%. I could be wrong. And I'm going to put in the, I just go back and look. I don't remember. 4% for 25 years on a 3-year agreement. For 25 years on a 3-year agreement. So you see what I'm doing here, right?
Yeah.
And all I'm doing is I'm just pressing the calculate button and looking for that monthly payment. And it's right here in the summary, right? There's my monthly payment. So I'm going to skip that question because I think you now know what to do with that, okay?
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Skip for now. And then the next question says, at the end of the 3-year term, determine the interest he will have paid. Well, go back to the summary that they gave you. It says over the 25 years, if you can still see my screen, this is how much interest, how much principal he's paying. But the question is not asking about over the 25 years. It says at the end of the 3-year term, how much interest will he have paid? Well, look at what the calculator is saying. Over the 3-year term, you will have made 36 payments totaling of this amount. You'll have paid this amount in principal. Principal is how much is coming. Principal is paying back towards the loan itself, and this amount in interest. There is your number right there, right? That's the interest that you paid in 3 years because this is over the 25 years. In 25 years, you're going to pay this amount in interest, 294,810.91. But for the first 3 years of this mortgage, you're paying this amount in interest. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so I'll put that number in there. I'm going to skip that for now. Next question. What's the balance owing? How much do you still owe after 3 years? Go back to the mortgage calculator. It says at the end of your 3-year term, you have a balance of it's right there. You see what I'm saying? So it means that you haven't paid off your, remember, you borrowed $510,000. Let me go back up here. You borrowed $510,000. You've been paying this every month, going along, and you paid back, $2,000 a month, and now you still owe $471,000. So that's what you still owe on the loan after 3 years. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me go back. Let me go to the next question now. What is the total amount he could save by reducing amortization from 25 to 20 years? Okay, let me walk you through this now. Go back to the table that they gave us for the 25 years. In 25 years, it says you're going to pay off the $510,000 in total. But of that, this amount is interest, 294,810. That's interest. If you do this over 25 years, go up and change that to 20. Now remember, that's interest that the bank keeps as their profit. Okay?
Okay.
Now, Go back and change this from 25 years to 20 years. Remember what that figure was? It was a 290 something thousand dollars. Press calculate again. Look at what happens to the interest figure. It's the same amount of money, same interest rate, but now you're paying it off in a faster time. Now, look at the principal you're paying, 229,597. So that means that your interest is less, which is great. The only problem is, though, Keja, is that the monthly payment is now higher. So you're paying more per month, but you're going to save an interest. If you want to know how much you saved, take the interest figure you had from before for 25 years and subtract the interest that you're now paying for 20 years. And that difference is how much you're going to save. Does that make sense?
Yeah.